Well, hello and welcome. My name is Velma. You can connect with me at velmanolds.com. This is all about your leadership chat. What does that mean? You get to listen in on valuable insights from valuable leaders just like you. I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe so that you never miss another episode. And if this is of value to you, please share the nuggets that you're going to take away from all these great leaders. Hey, please give a big welcome to my special guest and your valuable leader, Marcy Kravit. Marcy, welcome to your leadership chat.
Thank you for having me, Velma. I have been so excited and looking forward to being on the chat.
Awesome. I love having you on the chat and having a little conversation and some coffee and tea, water, whatever is safe to drink on social media. So here we go. So Marcy, can you, let's kick things off. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about you and what you do?
Well, I am someone that has pivoted. Actually, the last 20 years, I was managing properties, and I absolutely was very passionate about managing community associations. And I am now working for Hotwire Communications. I am the director of community association relations for Hotwire Communications. I'm also the author of Common Sense Community Management. Thanks to Hotwire, I had the time and I was able to finish my book. And I was a regional director in my previous role. I have been a writer for the Florida Community Association Journal. Nice. And my column is Cam to Cam. I've been writing for them as contributing writer for the last 20 years. Also a board member in my community association, my HOA, right, here in Weston, Florida. And I am also their, for Florida Community Association Journal, I'm their education program coordinator. I'm also an adjunct professor for Palm Beach State College for the pre-CAM license course, which I'm in the middle of drafting and hopefully will be up and running shortly. And what else? I also am an education provider through the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, and I absolutely love educating and mentoring and coaching in this industry of community associations.
My goodness, you just do so much. You got so many different titles, and then on top of that, you're just a wonderful individual. You just want to build community. I can tell that about you. You love building relationships. I remember when we connected, you were so enthused to make that connection. So there's so much to you, and I can't thank you enough. And kudos, just a call out, kudos to your current employer for investing in you the time so that you could use your talent of writing to be able to share that with the rest of us. So
well, thank you very much. I'm very grateful for Hotwire. They created this position for me, and I get to still be involved in the community association industry, reaching out to the properties that we serve, providing fiber optic solutions, internet, cable television, security solutions, water leak detection. And it's just been an exciting ride for the last 2 years.
Awesome. Well, I know there's so much to you. We're going to talk about valuable leaders here today. And my first question, it's coming, and so does our listeners by now, but can you share with us who is a valuable leader in your life and why? And when I say valuable leader, I'm talking about that person or more than one that you say, man, Marcy would not be the woman she is today if it was not for this person. I call that a valuable leader. Who's that in Marcy's life and why?
I would say that there have been several individuals that have really impacted my ability to lead and mentor. Yeah. And number one would be my father, and may he rest in peace. God bless him. He taught me the values of being a good person, being kind, being respectful, putting yourself in the other person's shoes. We all put our pants on the same every day, and always taking the time to just invest in people. And he owned several businesses, one of them being a retail business, and he taught me everything I know about management. And in fact, when I was a youngster, he encouraged me to take Dale Carnegie courses. And I contribute my my success to those courses.
Yeah.
In addition, I would say at this given time right now,
Mhm.
if I were to give credit to someone that has been a major influence in my life, I would say that would be Carl Lender.
Mm.
He is my boss. He is our executive vice president here at Hotwire, and he was the #2 employee. He's been a part of Hotwire for over 19 years. And
Wow.
he and I had met many years ago when I was an on-site manager, and he had the faith and trust in me and the confidence to provide me this role here at Hotwire. And I've learned so much from him since I've been here the last 2 years.
Wow. And you've just dropped a bunch of nuggets because you talked about, Carl and the present tense of the fact that, he put a lot of trust and faith in you. So having someone trust you enough and believe in you, that's just the foundational sign of a great leader. And then you talked about your dad, and you did that with a lot of smile and admiration and pride, which is a healthy sense, in a healthy manner, about how your dad instilled those values from very early on in your life and then modeled the way for you to help you to be who you are today. I mean, it's it's a wonderful thing when we can go back and say it's because of these individuals, and you have two strong men that are making a difference. And I say are making a difference. Your dad is still making a difference in your life, even though he's passed on.
Absolutely. And then I would also say I have a third leader
Okay.
that has been my soulmate throughout I would say the last 36 years, and that is my husband.
Mm-hmm.
He is my partner in life. He is the person that I confide in. He's the person that supports me. And at the end of the day, when I have stories to tell, he's there to listen, and he's there to advise, and he's there to give me the support that I need whenever I'm having some challenges or any type of obstacles or roadblocks.
Wow. Yeah, no. So we've got a trifecta, we've got the husband in there too. And it's good that you could speak of him, as this valuable leader who makes this impact in your life and support you. But it also sounds like he's just that friend, that is that trusted confidant that you can rely on. And did you say 30 years?
36 years. We
36.
celebrated in January.
You don't look like you should be married for 36 years, but kudos to you guys. I mean, wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Very blessed. Thank you.
Yeah, 36 years. Wow. That is an accomplishment in and of itself, Marcy. You should start that off when you introduce yourself. I've been happily married for 36 years to the same man, too. So that's a great thing. All right.
I'm surprised he's put up with me for that long.
I don't think he's put up with you. I think he's lifted you up during that time.
Absolutely.
You've become that better, made you a better person. And that's why we stay with people and, build stronger relationships, because they make us better. And that sounds just like what you both have done for and is doing for each other.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, great. Okay. Well, let me ask you the second side of that, because you spoke very highly of 3 big, strong men in your life that have laid foundational values, continue to do that, support you, trust you, have faith in you, instill the basic soft skills of being kind and having empathy. The things we talk about and words that are used, but you really hit home on how that's been impacted in your life and is. And supporting each other. So you know what it is to be impacted by a valuable leader. And you've been blessed multiple times over. My second question is, how does Marcy impact others in a way that you help them to become the valuable leader that they are, to find their value? How do you do that?
Well, I would say that I utilize SWOT analysis. Whenever I was managing properties, I realized that everyone has their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities and threats.
Right.
And it's really important to invest in people that have a good attitude and people that have a passion for something, whatever it is. I recognized when I was at a Cracker Barrel having breakfast that there was a hostess there that was just an amazing woman, and the way she was focused on people. And I looked at her and I said, you know, this woman has the potential to be more than what she is, and I want to give her the tools to help her. And I reached out to her because I would see her every time I was at this Cracker Barrel, and I said, you know, what are your goals? What are you looking for the future? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, and how can I help you? Because I manage properties and I'm so actively involved in the community association industry, and I see you as someone that would be very successful in that. And so she said, oh, I would love to manage one someday, and a property. And I said, well, I could see you doing that. So I gave her my number, and I interviewed her with the board of directors. They fell in love with her. She started out at the front desk, and now she's an assistant manager. So I was able to recognize that she had a good attitude. That was one of her strengths. One of her weaknesses was administratively, she didn't understand, you know, all the ins and outs of what we need to do for, you know, how to set up a board meeting, drafting agendas. And then I was able to teach her, and she was just like a sponge.
Yes.
And the opportunities, they were all there. And the only threat that was there was that, you know, once the board changes, that's a threat, because we never know if we have the job security and they're going to keep us on. But luckily she's survived, and she's still working at that same condominium that I placed her at over 10 years ago.
Wow.
So to me, that makes me feel so good that I was able to give someone an opportunity, and now they've thrived, and they too are now a leader.
Wow. Talk about paying it forward, right? Because now she's demonstrating that same attitude that you saw in her, that value of a positive attitude. She's demonstrating that, and other people are getting, you know, positively impacted by it. So you're paying it forward multiple times over.
You know, it's funny you say that, Velma, because I was featured on the cover of the Florida Community Association Journal before I became a writer, because I used to talk about paying it forward all the time. And on the cover, it says, paying it forward, Marcy Kravis, and it tells my story about how I'm always trying to do my best to pay it forward. So thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah, no. And you know, when you share, you could tell the passion in you that she never came to you and asked you. You asked her. It was like the initiative came from you, and the only return that you were going to get, and I say only in the sense that you did it without any selfish motivation, it was the joy and the satisfaction of somebody living into their potential. It wasn't that it was going to, you know, do any elevation on Marcy. It was just that joy and that satisfaction to say, I was able to recognize someone who maybe didn't see their own potential, and then help them to open doors to live into what they have as a passion inside of them. So you've changed that woman's life.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, 10 years, and she's out of, you know, one position into something that she would love to do. And kudos to her, because she had the attitude right where she was. You know, they always say that wherever you are, be the best that you could be. And it sounds like you were seeing the best in her in that role. So imagine if she had more responsibility, what she could do. And that's what you proved.
Absolutely. And having a good attitude, you may not have the skill set, you may not have, you know, the knowledge, but that can be learned.
Yes.
If you have a good attitude, and you set yourself for those types of goals, and you say, and you have like a timeline, and you say, okay, you know, in the next 2 months, I'm going to learn and brush up on my computer skills. I want to learn how to use Excel. And this is how I worked with her, step by step. Every step of the way, I helped support her and giving her the tools so she could succeed. And it's gratifying.
Yeah, no, I can tell. That's beautiful. And I love the example. And it's been 10 years and counting, you know, by the time. Excellent. All right, Marcy, you're doing really well. my next question is around the fact that you never know when someone's going to listen. You don't know when there's going to be another lady with a lot of potential listening in here, or a wonderful man that's leaning in and has a lot of potential. And he's like, where do I go and what do I do? So my question is, there's always a big takeaway that people want when they listen in to someone. And I would love for you to take this time to give one big takeaway that you would say to all the listeners that would help them become a valuable leader in their own life, to live with their value and have a bigger life. What would that be?
Education. I'm a big advocate for education. And, you know, with the computer, with YouTube, there's so much out there for you to learn. And it's free. And there's a lot of, you know, I spend a lot of time in my car visiting properties.
Right.
And so I don't have as much time to be able to read books, but I do have the opportunity to listen to books and audiobooks. I say my car is a library on wheels.
Yeah. Zig Ziglar calls it the automobile university. That's what he calls it.
I like that. And
Yeah.
I listen to Zig Ziglar, Stephen Covey,
Yes.
Tony Robbins, you name it, anything that's positive, anything that you can learn about leadership, find an author that you love and just start reading those books and you will learn so much. My favorite is Good to Great.
Okay.
And
Jim Collins.
Jim Collins talks about people on the bus.
Yeah.
And I love the concept about, I always talk about surrounding yourself with good people and surround yourself with good books.
Yes.
The education will go far. And you'll be surprised if you just take one nugget away from reading a book, it will live within you. And I have to tell you, as much as I struggled with the challenge of having to focus on my leadership role when I was managing my father's stores and I was only 18 years old and he pushed me to take that Dale Carnegie class, it still lives within me. And that How to Win Friends and Influence People, that was probably one of the most interesting books I've ever read. And having to get up and talk about it in front of my class, you'll get the most education, I think, out of that. That's my number one favorite.
Yes, I would totally agree with you. We are like spot on with that. The Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends, Influence People. I took the course, the flagship as well, many, many years ago. And I've said it on other episodes. It's a turning point. And yes, turning point in my career as well, in my personal and professional development. So we got that one down, man. But I love the fact that your big takeaway is education, you know, and that there's a big difference between, you know, when people graduate from college or high school or whenever they go into schools, whether that's university or college level, high school, they'll say, okay, my education is done. No, you know, that is your college work or your high school work may be done, the formal. But the education, when you are a lifelong learner, education is just beginning. So books are the key here, and automobile university. I love it. You said your car is like books on wheels. What a great analogy.
So to this day, in my briefcase, I still carry this little Dale Carnegie's Golden Book that I received in the class.
Yes.
And it's a little tattered. I probably need a new one, but it really, I refer to it often.
Yes, it is such a beautiful thing. And same here. But I love that you brought up the Dale Carnegie and you've got the book right there to help you as well. That's a blessing. And it certainly has paid off in the ways that, you know, for an example, Dale Carnegie talks about giving someone a good reputation to live up to. And that's what you did with your example of how to pay it forward, taking a lady, you know, who is working hard with a great attitude in a Cracker Barrel and giving her the opportunity to be an assistant manager, moving up within property management, in the property management industry. So There it is, full circle. We have come full circle. All right, Marcy, people are sometimes meeting you for the first time. Sometimes they are probably know you already and are fans of you and just listening in and supporting you and cheering you on your journey. But how can listeners learn more about you or find you, follow you, learn more about your book? Tell us.
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn.
All right.
And you can also find me on Amazon. There's a section about the author, talks about that. And also a couple of years ago, Voyage Miami did a really great piece on my history and talking about my dad and my roots and how I became the 2014 National Manager of the Year.
Wow. All right. So there's many, we Google you and Google will tell us all we want to know and more. But great. LinkedIn, we know that's a great place. Amazon for the book so that people could learn more about you, follow you, find out what you do, and just stay close to you. Marcy, thank you so much for sharing and, just pouring in, being so open and having your leadership chat with me today.
I truly enjoyed it, and I just love what you do for us and giving us the opportunity to share our stories about improving and helping others. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, well. Hey, thanks so much for watching another episode of Your Leadership Chat. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button here and tap that bell icon so that you never miss another episode. I hope too that you'll give us a thumbs up on the video for a like. And then if you feel led, please share the video with those who need to see it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Your Leadership Chat. Bye for now.